welcome to our first patron bot review officially. Lower this volume a little bit over here. Right now we're gonna be reviewing Mr. Still Yo Beef video. He submitted the video this weekend and wants some help with some of his gameplay. Let's see what he's got in store for us. We see that he has picked Reinhardt. I think it's a very solid pick. It's a pick that works at every level of the meta. We won't be talking about too much meta today. We will be reviewing more of his playstyle, his decisions, and all that good stuff. Alright, that's the first decision in the game that we see him make. He's gonna do a sneaky Rein little thingy. It's a bit risky if the enemy team decides to, let's say, pop up through here and they all come through there. He's gonna be in a precarious position, but can also land an early kill, waste some time for the enemy. Let's see how he goes. Oh, there's a D.Va. He has to back up out of there. Didn't work. Couldn't get the kill. It's worth noting that even if you get the kill, it's not as much of a thing. Let's stop it right here. Let's go back to right about here. We see the Reinhardt right here. This is super dangerous, and I see Reinhardt do this a lot. Just charge it into the middle of the enemy team. And here, he's completely unprotected. He has the Hanzo aiming at him. He has you paying attention to him. Your Ana's probably behind him also. And he doesn't have a lot of support. Not a lot of his team follows him through here because, you know, he moves at the speed of charge, which is a lot faster than what most people can move at. And it cost him dearly, I believe. Yeah, he's not able to back up and find his team. His D.Va doesn't flood in with him either. Alright, you're blocking for your team over here. That's good. Preventing them from getting in. Right here is an important thing to distinguish, and I also see a lot of Reinhardts do this too, and is where you're using your shield. Right now, if you pay attention, your team is right over here. That's where your D.Va went, your off tank. That's where more than likely your Ana is also, or maybe like back here. And your Hanzo might be like way up there in like the high ground and stuff. So by you being here and shielding right here, you're kind of just letting your shield die unnecessarily. And I think it's a thing that as you get better with Reinhardt, you get a little better of just looking behind you and seeing who's there, or just seeing who has moved out of your shield. And in that case, you can see that you're pretty much full health right here. So it's okay if you take a little bit of damage and just maybe reposition yourself where they actually need you. Keep your shield healthy so you'd have a little more, and come block over here where the rest of the team is. Let's keep moving forward. Yeah, like right here, you're not blocking too much. Your shield is going down. And you can see, okay, your D.Va comes over here to help you out. That's good. But then again, as Reinhardt, like I said, it's not bad if you take a little bit of damage as Reinhardt. Your Ana can heal you. You give her ultimate. Oh, let's stop right here. This, I think, is a big mistake. You're covering right here for your team, and you're doing well. But right here, you decide that it's a good idea to charge in. And let's talk about why that is not a good idea. First of all, you have a Zenyatta right here. He's shooting at you already. He probably is going to put this cord in you immediately. You have a Reinhardt and a D.Va right here. And all of their DPS is right here. You have a single healer in your team, which is behind you, but your D.Va is also behind you, which might prevent her from actually getting shots on you. And you are in a defensive position. Right now, you're not necessarily looking to go on the aggression. The enemy team as a whole has to go in to your position. So you're the guys who have the advantage here because you're controlling the choke, and they're the ones who have to go through that choke, not you. And here we check it out. Charge over here. He gets escorted. You're able to survive there, but as soon as you did that, Reinhardt flooded in, and it was like, oh, they no longer have a front line. We can all flood in, and even though he gets killed, we can see the enemy team here is able to get through. You are no longer in the front line. I was really lucky that you didn't get killed there, but as you move up in the ladder, those mistakes get punished right away. I was also lucky that the charge of the Reinhardt didn't hit you, and you got knocked back in the air.
This Reinhardt's almost dead. He's dead.
Their Reinhardt is a good example of why it's hard to charge into the middle of the enemy team. He's charging and he's being very vulnerable, especially considering he only has a Zenyatta to heal him. Let's go back here. That play is worth analyzing. This play you did right here is a good play. Is a bad play disguised as a good play. So yes, you got their Zenyatta, and yes, you got the Pharah, but you used a very significant ultimate, your Earth Shatter, to get these 2 kills in a moment where their Reinhardt was more likely over here, their D.Va was more likely over here, and these guys were not putting pressure at all. They were just out of position. Sure, they would have been easy kills. You can think about it in terms of staggering, but I think it's better if you had maybe tried getting a kill with your charge or something at this point, since like the tanks are nowhere to be found. It's just the 2 of them. So actually being aggressive in this situation is the appropriate, not when they're all right here waiting for you. And you do get the kills, and you do stagger them. It's worth noting that. You got the Pharah there, and it wasn't a liability. But now, you don't have your Earth Shatter anymore. If they decide to do a push, like if their Reinhardt actually has his Earth Shatter, or you know, anything else goes wrong, now you don't have that safety tool, which is something you want to always have on defense. Your ultimates on defense are a safety tool, not so much an initiation aggression tool. Their Pharah really likes the ground. She's not going up again. Oh, that Hanzo's ult is a good example of it too. There was really no need to use it. Sure, he gets the kill in the D.Va, but it would have been a lot more useful if, for example, he uses it when they're funneling in and trying to do the push. Right here, all they have to do is wait for the D.Va, and the ult doesn't have much impact. You do it again. This is very important. And over here, you're actually in a very difficult situation. Like, there's nothing here that can help you. Your teammates are way back there. Your Ana is probably blocked line of sight. She can't really see you. And now you're here alone with their Reinhardt, and the enemy team knows it. Let's see what happens here. I'm getting used to this little marker.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you get her shattered. So he saw the opportunity. He saw you out of position, and he's like, oh, I can Earth Shatter him here and take advantage of it. I would say that Earth Shatter was more meaningful than the one that you did against the Pharah and Zen, even though he only got 1 kill and you got 2. As you can see here, your entire team gets demolished, all of them, because you were not there to hold the front line. And at this point, you could argue, hey, we only had 1 healer. The comp wasn't ideal. We had a Thor but a Hanzo. But I think that you guys were doing actually really good up until this point, even with the comp that you had. Even if the comp is not meta, or what people consider the right play. You guys were holding a solid defense. But that tiny little mistake, where maybe you got bored of just standing in the choke and holding them, and you decided to get a little creative, that literally cost you the first point right there. Alright, coming into second point.
Can we get that Mercy out of the air?
Rein charges. Okay, that's a little more decent Earth Shatter. You use it to kill the Rein that is actually pushing in. So you actually disseminate the push in that way. It might have been unnecessary. Maybe just charging him would have done the trick, since his team was not really following up. But I can see the reasoning behind that Earth Shatter. We have the good old Reinhardt dance. We're just holding the front line. This is good. Be careful with these flanks. Okay, you come back here. As Reinhardt, you definitely always want to be in the front line. You are the guy. Battle over here. Ryan is able to get 2 kills on your team. Oh man. Alright, well that worked in your favor. You got a lucky kill on the Junkrat here. Battle of ults. That was an interesting decision by your Ana to ult you there. You were so low in health. Although it could have worked if the Pharah hadn't ult you from behind. Alright, seems like your team was able to hold this position. It's good to know that you definitely want to hold your position right here. Yeah, that's a good place. You don't want to go back there to chase people away or anything like that. That leaves your front line open. Also, again, keep in mind with the shield here. Like right here where you're not getting pressure too much, you almost don't have to hold your shield. It's okay if Pharah hits you with a couple of rockets and your healers get some heals on you. It's a little aggressive. Right here, you're getting pushed back into... Ooh, that was safe that you didn't get charged by the Reinhardt. Those are the things that I'm talking about. You definitely, as Reinhardt, you don't want to get caught right here or right here by yourself. Especially against these two guys. That is very bad. Especially if your Ana is out here. And if you force her to have to pop out over here and heal you or grenade you, now all the heroes that are also here, and even the heroes that are inside of this room, can get to her really easy. And you put your team in a very disadvantageous position, also because you're not blocking the main entrance. And keep in mind that it's not that they were coming through here. They came through here because they were chasing you, coming through here. So go careful with those positionings. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's move forward. You have your Air Shatter again. They're kind of cut over here. All right. That's a pretty decent Air Shatter. The Mercy Rest could have been seen coming, but at least she has to use it in a very disadvantageous position. Oh my god, you almost got that Pharah again. Again, that Pharah loves the ground. She's just walking through main door. Like if she had to. I think you use your ults a little bit aggressively a lot of the time, rather than circumstantially, depending on what they're doing. Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I meant. Just charging him when he charges in like that is usually because it's so easy to predict, and you kind of see what wall he's gonna end up in, so you can pre-charge him. So before he can turn around after the charge, you've already charged him, rather than using an Earth Shatter on him. Especially because their Reinhardt is being very predictable. He's just literally charging straight with plenty of room. You see him coming for a while. What is that Pharah doing in front of you? Oh, nice dodge. There you go. There it is. This is what you're supposed to be doing right here with Reinhardt. That was a very good ult. With Reinhardt, one of your main advantages is that you have a huge shield, and you can prevent their Reinhardt from like earth-shattering your whole team. Here you dodge it in a slightly different way, but you countered their ult, their initiative. And I think that is the most important thing. Right here, their Reinhardt did his huge Earth Shatter, and you're like, nah, bro, let me do my huge Earth Shatter. And now both of you are caught in the middle of the team, and my D.Va is safe over here. That is a great move, and that is how you should be planning your ults most of the time. Let's see how that unfolds. Get a double kill, your D.Va's still alive, and you're able to shield her from the Junkrat. That's a really good play right there. And those are the plays you should be trying to make while you're in defense. Very reactive and trying to counter their pushes creatively, right? You don't know how they're going to push, but it's your job to adapt to their push.
On right. He's set.
I think you guys pretty much have it here. I think it's the last fight you guys do, but I don't think they're able to do much. You gotta get charged there. Mercy gets the rest, but you're able to quickly squash him. That's it, yep. Looks like you guys have a very solid comp on attack. You got a Lucio, which is great. Helps you get that speed boost, get over those choke points really fast, get your Annas and your soldiers up there, and especially you. You're a big chunk of metal just running around. Alright, let's see how this goes. You're doing the Reinhardt dance. Checking what heroes they have and stuff. Here it's important to note, I see a lot of people do this. As Reinhardt, you are the person who is leading the charge. You are the guy, numero uno. You are the guy who moves in first. So you're the guy who has to actually move forward. I think that it's actually really detrimental to stay behind this line and behind this choke for too long. If you're just standing here shielding your allies and not really putting up any pressure, I think that you're wasting kind of time. But also it's not ideal to just kind of like charge in there like the enemy Reinhardt was doing to you, because you saw how that was working out for them and they were only able to push once you were gone and not there anymore. So instead, what you want to do is kind of like slowly through the ground, holding your shield, advance the line, rather than just standing here and waiting for your diva. You also want to get your diva up close. And because you have her right behind you, she has her projected barrier right here, or her matrix, whatever you want to call it. So she can actually defend you from, shock waves or anything coming at you if your shield is waning down. But basically, you want to start moving the line forward as soon as you can, even if that implies just literally walking up and holding maybe your shield closer to the Rein shield, using maybe this little truck as cover. And then your allies can start flooding in through here. Your diva can move up and be in the Reinhardt's face. And then you guys can do, flank around here. But basically, you're the front line of your team, so you gotta act like it. Let's move forward. You're kind of chilling a little bit in the back. Okay, here you start moving up. This is good. This is what you want. Right here, you get in the Reinhardt's face. You're protecting your team. They're able to flank to the side. That's good. You guys get him here on the side. And, you try to charge the mate. Right here. This is very important. Let me pass it at a good time. You charge the Mei right here, which was good. As a try good kill. But the thing you neglected was that your team was all right here. Mei was here and Zarya was here. And now look at the position you've kind of like put yourself in. And rather than charging, when you charge, I think you saw the Ana over here, I believe. And you maybe got a little thirsty for blood and you saw that squishy little Ana right there. And maybe you get a little excited and you decided to come around here. But that itself was a positional mistake. You neglected the fact that your team was already in this position and they already took advantage of the opening you created for them. They moved up to the point. Your team's already back here behind this building. And you've put yourself in a very precarious situation because Diva and Soldier already advanced to the point, but you're blocked by this Mei and this Zarya. And now Reinhardt is actually threatening you right here. So rather than having chased the Ana back there, what you could have done is done the charge like you did on the Mei. But as soon as you realized that didn't work, you should have retreated with your team because you could have put a shield right here. And now your team has their back covered. They're on the point and the whole enemy team is still kind of like out of position. And now you guys have control of the area. Now the enemy team is the ones who have to go chase you rather than the other way around. So one thing to note over there. Let's keep going. Yeah, I believe that
Maybe
you guys get rushed over here since you couldn't keep up with the team, and it's harder to note since it's solo queue and stuff. You guys are not really talking too much to each other and moving in, but I think that your team reacted the appropriate way to the way that you moved, and you should have tried to follow them a little more. As you can see, the enemy team didn't even pay attention to them for a while. Your D.Va and your Soldier and Genji were pretty much at the point the whole time, and the enemy team just chased you guys with strangled back, or stragglers in the back. That's what I meant to say.
For sure, we just got kills too. Make them stream.
We went on to second point. They're not really in position. This is good for you guys. This is a good attempt. They were all there. It's too bad that the Zarya kind of saw your intentions to put the shield up. And oh, Rein got you there, but he used his ult. That's fine. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes with using the ult so offensively, the Reinhardt just used their ult right there in pretty much a couple kills that he already had secured, or that we're not doing a lot because the rest of his team had already dealt with your team, and now on the next push, their team does not have the Reinhardt ult anymore.
Alright, everybody back up.
Regrouping here.
Everybody just back
You have
up.
a good sense for regrouping and waiting for your teammates. That's good. The right-hand player definitely want to do that. But now they're here, you do have to kind of like follow them. This is something that it's quite tricky to do because you're playing with solo Curious right now, and we have two that are already flanking while you're kind of like left behind here. Now you have no pressure to put forward. So you have to make a decision here. Either you go with them and help them with a flank, or you try to put pressure with the people you have behind you, which might not be a lot. But that is not so much your fault as the decision that your team decided to make. And it's up to you. How do you follow up with that? You can see them here. The Genji rushes in, so he's already in, and you're still waiting at the gate. Lucio did a weird sun barrier, so they're probably pretty much inviting you to go in. The flank that they did over there. So far, no casualties. Zarya is her ult. Oh, Lucio finally dies. He lasted a long time considering. It's a good charge. You get rid of the turret. #1 priority there, so your team can actually fight. Oh, nice. Your team actually starts getting a lot of kills. And you got the Ana. Very nice push. You almost get the Torb there. It's a good usage of the corner. I think it just took you a little bit too long to initiate that push. You should have been a little more aware that the Lucio and Genji were flanking there. And even though sometimes it's not the most ideal thing, maybe you want the Lucio to go in with you. They obviously had a plan. And sometimes it's up to you to kind of like gauge that plan. Now your team's streaming in a little bit. They're dying one by one. You're kind of the only one left here. That's good that you realize you're the only one left, and you're like slowly backing away. Like, oh, never mind. But good awareness there, and that's definitely what you want to do if you know the fight is lost.
Come out ready, D.Va. You don't have your ult. Alright, let's combo Genji and mine. Ready?
I think this is the first time in the game, and this is worth noting too, but this is probably like the first time in the game that somebody actually offers to combo an ult or offers information on their ult. And sometimes communication is not absolutely required, especially spoken communication, but even doing things like what the Ana is doing right here, where she's communicating that the nano boost is ready once you said that your ult was ready. That's a good response. She doesn't have to say anything, but you were trying to initiate this play, and she's paying attention. She's like, yeah, I got mine. Here you go, a little piece of information. And it's something that I definitely don't see happen often at the lower rankings. People tend to play a more individualistic game and keep to themselves a lot of the time. And that's fine, but know that just giving small pieces of information like you just did. You just told your team, hey, I have my ult and we have Genji's ult. Now, for a brief window, your team is all on the same page. And even though not everything is planned, they know that in this next fight, you guys will be using those ults at least. And they can plan accordingly or at least expect a little more.
Next time he throws a thing.
We're going in over here.
Go.
Go.
Oh, nice ult. You got them all. And you got the Mercy, even more importantly.
Where's this Mercy? Where's this Mercy at? Oh,
Your team rushes in, gets the Mercy. Good kills. Ooh, that's dangerous. Let's go back over here. And granted, this fight was very hectic. But right here, you pretty much, you won the fight. Your Genji got the Mercy, and your soldier got their Reinhardt. The most important guys holding that point together just died. And you guys, from this point on, the only job that you have to do is not lose it. And this is a slight mechanical mistake over here. Right here, you have, and this is more of a thing of like quick thinking, right? And it's hard to judge because you're in the middle of the fight, but they're both bubbled right here. And you are quite low on health, like precariously low on health. And your entire team is basically surrounding them. These guys are dead. But right now, what you have to worry about is yourself. You cannot die right here. You are super vital for your team to hold this point because Genji is not a point contester. Soldier can be, since he's all squishy and can heal himself. Lucio can sometimes be a little bit, but basically you're the main tank right here. They need you at the point. And you do a very risky play by almost blindly shooting a shockwave at these guys. You shoot the shockwave and you let your shield down and they're able to finish you up there. Ideally, you would have kept your shield up and just gone back to your Lucio, who was right next to you too. That Mei gets a lot of kills there after she's able to get you. Fortunately, the Rhine dies somehow, maybe through the abyss. So your team is able to keep the pressure up until you come back.
Wait for your healers, guys.
Right now you guys are in that limbo where the enemy team is trying to catch up, control their point, but can't quite grasp it. You guys just need to keep getting the kills, keep getting the advantage there. As long as they keep... Oh, nice kill. You get a random tracer there. Mercy reses, but again, they're all streaming in. They don't have a position. This is what you want to cause, a lot of disruption in their team. I think here is just going through the motions basically. You guys just trying to control the point. You guys get it. I think here you do the right thing, moving up and ensuring that the team cannot get to the point. And you guys win it.
Good, guys.
So overall, I think good game. I think you have a good sense for when to group up with your team as Reinhardt. You have a good sense of when to move up, but lacking a little bit of aggression sometimes, especially in the choke points. You are the guy who's moving it forward, and even though you were doing the right thing by not charging directly into the middle of the enemy team, like the enemy Reinhardt was doing for obvious reasons, you were maybe doubting yourself a little bit and not feeding off too much of your teammates. You were playing a very lonely frontline game. I advise that as you improve with your Reinhardt, just pay attention to your teammates a little more and the plays they're trying to do. If you're covering them, a lot of really good Reinhardts, you'll notice, do these really weird flips in the middle of a battle, and it's just so they can turn around and peek at what's behind them, just to get a little glimpse of where your team is. Sometimes with Reinhardt, it's easy to get caught up in the front line and what's immediately happening in front of you because your line of vision is very limited. You can't really see 360, and because you have to keep your shield in front of you, you don't really know sometimes what's happening in the back. But sometimes a quick little turnaround, just to see where everyone is and get yourself repositioned is all that you need. Because as you know, Reinhardt is a hero that is all about positioning. He's not necessarily hit scan or projectile or anything like that. The most effectiveness that you get out of him is if you're in the right place at the right time. And one last thing that I did wanted to mention is the charging and stuff. I think you were doing it really well, just waiting for the Reinhardt on defense to charge in, except for the couple times that you charge into the middle of the enemy team. When you have the itch to do that, my biggest recommendation is that instead of charging directly at them, you try to do it horizontally. So rather than charging into them, you just wait for them to cross kind of like the line or the choke point line, and you charge across, so that instead of ending behind them, you end up to the side and still maybe on your team side where Ana still has visibility of you, and you're not too far away or out of position, and you still get those charges, and you still become a very strong force to reckon with at the choke point, because anyone who dares cross that line might actually just get trampled by you. So one thing to keep in mind, but overall good game. And yeah, hope this review helps with your gameplay. And this is my first one, so any suggestions or anything that you guys might want to add that I missed, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll be posting this on our YouTube channel and also on our Discord for everyone else to see. Thank you, Still Yo Beef, for submitting the video. Hope this helps, man.